So as you know, Rabiot is on the verge of joining Manchester United, a deal that me and the majority of fans are not very happy about. Not only does Rabiot have less passes and touches a game than Scott McTominay, and Rabiot plays in a much easier league, and Rabiot statistically is a lot worse than Scott McTominay, but Rabiot is also going to cost Manchester United 15 to 20 million pounds, which is more than Conrad Lema. It came out today that Ralph Rangnick was suggesting United sign Conrad Lema. We are now going in for Adrien Rabiot. Now, my biggest issue with Adrien Rabiot isn't that he was crap at Juventus, isn't that he's worse than Scott McTominay, but it's the dressing room issues Rabiot has caused at clubs, refusing to play, leaking stuff, just being a completely bad character, and his mother, Veronica, you don't want to mess with her. I mean, actually, a report came out yesterday that Rabiot is waiting for permission from his mum to move to United. I tell you what, they are big problem causes. And I'm going to get into a thread that I saw on Twitter discussing every single little problem and issue Rabiot has caused at clubs he's been at. He's been at PSG, he's been at Juventus, and they both wanted to get rid of him. Because I tell you what, he's trouble. Not only is he not a great footballer, but he's causing a lot of issues. And I think if Ten Hag can make it work, then brilliant. If Ten Hag wants him, then brilliant. But if Ten Hag wanted him, we would have been linked to him ages ago. And before I get into every issue Rabiot's caused, I just want to say this. If Rabiot's a McTominay replacement, fine. But Rabiot is not a De Jong alternative because Rabiot couldn't be any further from De Jong. I was complaining when we were looking at Tielemans and Neves as De Jong alternatives. But being linked to Rabiot, I actually want Tielemans and Neves now. That is how much I do not want Adrien Rabiot. Now, we have been linked to Sergio Milinkovic-Savic, and actually we're closing on a deal for Cody Gakpo. There's a big Cody Gakpo update coming tonight. So make sure you subscribe because I'm going to be live at about 5, 6 p.m. An early live. So do make sure you subscribe for this big news update on Cody Gakpo. But let me get into this thread that I saw on Twitter here regarding Rabiot. A deeper look into Rabiot's infamous bust-ups in his career, guys. So this thread starts, big credit to at V9Ram. He says in 2015-16, Rabiot goes behind the manager's back to try and force a move. At just 20 years of age, Rabiot, despite PSG handling his debut, already displayed his lack of respect for the managers and his coaches. LeBlanc said, "It annoys me. Adrien has to understand that when you have the possibility of going at the end of your contract, you can leave for free. You can do it. Otherwise, when you sign a contract of 5 years with PSG, you have to respect your first club." Already, right at PSG, disrespects them. In 2018, and this is the worst one in my opinion, Rabiot refused to be on the World Cup standby list despite him not deserving a spot in the main squad anyway, because he was crap that season. When he was told he needed to follow a training regime, and let me follow this training regime in the event of an injury in midfield, he emailed Didier Deschamps and completely refused to follow it. He basically refused to train because he wasn't picked originally, and he said, "I wasn't going to be a reserve." Obviously, this is the article that came out. World Cup 2018, Paris Saint-Germain midfielder Adrien Rabiot refuses place on France reserve list. When unveiling his list, Deschamps justified his decision not to include Rabiot because the 23-year-old player's mediocre performance with the national team. He didn't deserve to be called up. He was really crap. And then he was obviously reserved because they're like, he's a good young player with good potential. And he was too lazy, didn't want to train, didn't want to be involved. His ego was too big. He thought, you didn't pick me, so I'm not going to try. And this is the problem with Rabiot. He's got this massive ego. And I think his mother doesn't influence this, where if something doesn't go his way, he'll just refuse to do it. Like, he is an absolute brat. He is demanding 200k a week to play for Manchester United when he is crap. He's crap. At least Scott McTominay can be crap. That's a good attitude. This Rabiot guy is crap. In 2019, in January, PSG sent Rabiot to the reserves. Once again, a complete lack of respect for his club after being dropped for being late to a meeting. He refused to commit his future to PSG and was eventually forced to train with the reserves. Not a good look for anybody. Now, we've got a lot of clubs that refuse to play, a lot of players that are saying, "I'm going to leave Man United when my contract's up." Pogba left when his contract's up. Lingard left when his contract's up. Matic, Mata, Cavani all left when their contract was up. But we never made them train with the reserves because they were at least respectful, even though their contract was going to be up in 6 months. Rabiot, again, very disrespectful towards PSG. And they just said, "No, you know what? Play with the youth." In late October 2018, both Rabiot and Mbappe were dropped from the starting 11 by a newly appointed manager Thomas Tuchel after arriving late for a pre-season meeting. The following January, after refusing to renew his contract and failing to appear for the first team since the previous month, the former midfielder was forced to train with the reserves. Again, regarding Rabiot, we then go into 2019. After an infamous defeat to United, the only thing that Ollie did, his new suitors, which in brackets, hopefully not, but I think Rabiot was going to happen, Rabiot decided to spend an evening in a nightclub where he subsequently was suspended until the end of the month. And he liked Evra's post celebrating a win. So not only did his club PSG get knocked out the Champions League to honestly a shit United side. When I look at the United side that knocked them out Champions League, it was literally like Lindelof, De Gea, Delot, Bailly. There was Lukaku and Rashford. There was Pereira. There was Fred. It was one of the most shocking United sides ever knocked PSG out of the Champions League. And Rabiot's liking Evra's post celebrating and going out to a nightclub being like, even though PSG's been knocked out the Champions League to this dead United side, I'm going to go to a nightclub. So Rabiot was obviously suspended for that as well, but he was already in trouble at the time. But this is the worst part. Rabiot's mother. This is who you do not want at Manchester United. 2019, his mother brands Rabiot as a hostage at PSG. Despite his antics off the field, Rabiot's mother still demanded a contract worth 10 million a season, and PSG refused. It came out saying there was, obviously PSG put him in the reserve team at the beginning of the season, and having regularly played, the refusal of the contract renewal has definitely annoyed the Parisian executives. That's not indulged for the the request of the mother agent, who asked for a 10 million contract per season for the son, in line with the salaries of the top players like Mbappe, Neymar, and Cavani. So basically, Rabiot, after causing all these issues, mother was like, I want him to have a contract like Mbappe, Neymar, and obviously Cavani at the time. And she goes, my son is a hostage of the club. He will leave soon. It will live in, he will soon live in prison on bread and water. I mean, she's fucking crazy. She's crazy, honestly. And that comment was the final straw for PSG. Since then, Rabiot has signed for Juventus. This was despite strong links to Barcelona, but it was his mother, surprise, surprise, who decided to pull out after they refused to put a starting guarantee in his contract. At Juventus, his performances have been largely subpar. So Rabiot was going to go to Barcelona, and his mother said no. Rabiot's mother controls his life. There's generally reports, I think even Romano said it, that Rabiot's waiting to see if his mother gives him permission to join United, because Rabiot's mum wants to make sure he gets the most money and he starts and all this, but Rabiot's mum might rate him more than anyone else because she's a mum. But when you're not that good of a player, no one other than a team that's a stupid, so Man United, is going to give Rabiot 200k a week and say he's going to start. I mean, Man United are stupid enough to do that, but that's why he didn't go to Barcelona as well. And then Euro 2020, Rabiot and his mother fall out with the French national team. After Mbappe missed his spot kick against Switzerland, his mother was seen exchanging words with the family of Paul Pogba and Kylian Mbappe. So his mother, again, causing issues with him and his teammates. Now, Man United had so many dressing room issues last season. And one of the most important things was resolving the dressing room. And adding a player like Rabiot is just going to make that worse. Because Rabiot is known for causing issues. His mother causes issues. Rabiot's fallen out with all of his teammates at Juventus and at PSG. Rabiot's fallen out with his France teammates, his PSG teammates, his Juventus teammates. Rabiot's agent leaks stuff to the media. We don't want teammates falling out, and we don't want stuff leaked to the media. They're the two things we don't want, because we had that last season. And Rabiot has an absolute track record for doing it. Rabiot's mum blamed Pogba for losing the ball for the third goal, and his brother got into a heated exchange with her. Again, Rabiot's mum getting in fights with his teammates' family, because Rabiot's mum is psycho as well. And Mbappe's father did not take the criticism well either. Again, problems with Pogba, problems with Mbappe, because Rabiot's family are dickheads as well. And he finished off the thread saying, Adrien Rabiot's career has brought nothing but embarrassment and shame to himself, and United signing him would be one of the worst decisions they could make. He's not worth the hassle, as performances on the pitch would suggest. He is the last thing Erik ten Hag needs. And this guy is absolutely spot on. If Man United sign Rabiot, it's embarrassing, because this guy causes so many off-the-field issues. And with the amount of off-the-field issues we had last season, we need to avoid him. Conrad Lehmann's the same price. I don't think Ten Hag wants Rabiot, because if Ten Hag really wanted Rabiot, we've been linked to him ages ago. United have gone, oh shit, we fucked up De Jong, are panicking, and are bringing in players like Rabiot that we don't need. Erik ten Hag said in his press conference he'd rather be signing short than bringing someone he doesn't want. And if Rabiot is a McTominay replacement because Erik ten Hag's realised how crap McTominay is, fine. I don't think Rabiot is any better, to be honest. But he cannot be a De Jong alternative. He cannot be a De Jong alternative, because what United have done in the past is not get the manager's first choice and get a signing like Rabiot and Arnautovic, and they haven't learnt from their mistakes. And I do feel sorry for Ten Hag. Let me know your thoughts on Rabiot down below, but I will be live, I think, 5:30 tonight with a big news update. So make sure you're subscribed. We've got some actually good news to get into regarding the likes of Cody Gakpo. There's a Milinkovic-Savic story, but I still don't believe it. But I think if we sign Rabiot, we will sign 2 midfielders. But I hope Rabiot isn't a deal alternative as well. So smash a like, smash a subscribe. See you next time, and bye.